Welcome to another episode of Loyalty360's Thought Leadership and Loyalty series. Today we're here with Lenati, which develops innovative and disruptive customer experiences for some of the most recognized brands and companies all over the world.
Hi, my name is Clay Waltonhouse. I am the head of the Consumer Strategy Services Division at Lenati and have a background in doing a lot of work with consumer brands in the retention and loyalty space.
So what is the biggest challenge your clients face today when trying to drive customer loyalty, and how do you recommend they measure efficacy?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges I see today is the lag time from changing the way an organization thinks about customer loyalty and customer experience to actually being able to act on it. And the gap for most organizations is building the capabilities and actually mobilizing the organization against the vision. And so one of the number one things that we regularly do with our clients in this space is really work on actionable roadmaps that are focused on both people skills, technology, data, and the strategy itself that needs to evolve over time. Part of that, as you mentioned, is measurement. And so measurement to us always takes two forms. There's the behavioral indicators of change in the customer base, and then there's emotional indicators of change. I think the behavioral piece, a lot of brands are doing a much better job about wrapping their head around, but the emotional piece in particular is much harder and requires standing up a lot of programmatic research studies that can actually help track shifts in preference, perception, and affinity over time.
And overall, what are the biggest challenges and opportunities for brands and marketers today? And if you could recommend one thing to a client, what would that be?
Yeah, well, I think, again, it's a capability building to a large degree. Many organizations, candidly, are not technology companies at heart. And so as we look to a number of different types of companies across different industries, they're now facing this paradigm shift in their own business where they need to change the way they think about their core competencies. And many of them are not dev shops. They don't have a real core competency around technology development and custom development. And so many of them are struggling with that and really remaking themselves. And so there's two solutions there, really. One is developing a very aggressive plan to build those technology capabilities internally, or finding the right technology partners who can help them accelerate speed to market. And in working with many CTOs and CIOs and CEOs on this type of work, that's always the million-dollar question: is what are those competencies you build in-house, and what are the competencies that you really look to a partner to provide?
And how sophisticated would you say the loyalty and customer experience initiatives of most brands are these days?
Boy, ranges quite a bit. I would say on average, there's still a lack of sophistication in general. So I think a lot of people understand the shift that's occurring around customer centricity and building experiences that are easy, convenient, simple, that really deliver on those modern paradigms for the customer experience. But in terms of actioning that in the form of marketing, in the form of digital transformation, brand building, new service development, all the different ways that companies innovate, I would say the action obviously lags the understanding. And so a huge part of that, again, comes back to what we're discussing today in the form of the capability development, the road mapping, and then all of the work to right-size the investments in how you develop those plans in-house.
How about what you do for clients? What is the single most important thing you have done or are doing that helps your clients increase customer loyalty?
Boy, I think the biggest thing that we bring and can often help with being a third party is providing that outside voice around what consumers are looking for across industries and helping bring a deeper understanding of the consumer to the client. We do a lot of work in our data sciences team and with some more advanced research methods that are both qualitative and quantitative to try to help people understand the actual drivers of customer behavior. And with all the advancements around data products, large-scale algorithms, and other models, there's a lot of value in helping companies actually convert the data they have to actionable data products that can then inform marketing and experience design. So I would say our biggest value add is often coming in with a point of view that is a proven point of view from having done this work across different industries and different clients on how to get there, right? So how to move from data overload to actionable data that can actually help execute.
If you could ask a brand or a competitor or a client one question, what would that question be? So like pretend you had a crystal ball and could ask anything and get the answer. What would that be?
Oh, wow. I think there's a lot of brands out there that are admirable for a variety of reasons. And I think there's a lot of challenges for executives in kind of navigating their own path to innovation and doing something that is right for their business, their employees, their people, and not just looking to copycat. And we're actually headquartered in Seattle, so we're in Amazon's backyard. And that's a company that many of us respect in terms of what they've done in the marketplace. There's also been some bad press about the company in terms of what it's been like for their people. And so I personally think it would be very interesting to have a conversation with Jeff Bezos around his leadership principles, his management philosophy, how he thinks about innovation, and how he thinks about balancing kind of the people aspects of his business with the commercial aspects of his business. I personally think that would be a very interesting conversation and one that's relevant for a lot of C-level executives as they think about spurring very aggressive change and very fast-paced innovation in their own teams while maintaining a bit of balance around the people needs of their business.
And finally, what do you think is the future of customer loyalty?
Boy, that is a complicated question, I would say, when you really unpack it. I think for me, having done a lot of work in the loyalty space, the word loyalty itself has carried a lot of, baggage, if you will. When people hear the word, they immediately think loyalty program. And so we've been working to kind of reset that expectation over the last decade, really. And so I think the future of loyalty, using that word broadly, is a much more in-depth, empirically based understanding of loyalty as an outcome and all the various drivers that contribute to a customer's state of loyalty. So if loyalty is the end relationship you achieve by providing a positive customer experience, the future is brands who really understand the moments that matter, as proven out by the data, that can ultimately have a response on retention, but also create the emotional impact that people strive for in the ideal state, which is a loyal customer.
Wonderful, Clay. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all of your insights today.
You're welcome. Good to talk to you.